whatever.
Oh, well, first of all, I want to establish my credentials as an expert on alcoholism. Well, I was dealing with alcoholism in the cradle, because of my father and all his brothers. And so, you know, right there and then, surely qualifies to be. And then I've continued to get subjects during my whole life that I've studied. I'm currently in my 7-year study of Doc, MD over here.
What? You always have to use my name.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Anonymous over here.
That's better.
And he, somehow or another, he agreed to be the subject of my study and ongoing study, lifetime study, because alcoholism, oh my goodness, it's going to take a lot of studies.
Wait a minute now. Hmm? I just have to say this on behalf of all of us.
Well, sit down here so they can see.
I'm going to fix myself an alcoholic drink before I sit down.
Oh,
now, first of all, I want you to know that I thought the title, my companion,
well, I have one too that's better than yours.
My companion has finally got into AA. Alcoholic asshole.
No, he's finally agreed that that's... And you know, my mother was an expert on alcoholism. She married my dad, spent 35 years with him, and then she divorced him, and a week later she married another alcoholic. And so
you people
she
can't
spent
stay away from
20 years with him, and so you know, I come from a family of experts, and so I had the benefit of her insights and books. She wrote 2 books on each husband, and they were both of them were just horrifying. I mean, you just could hardly get your they just knock you cuckoo. You're reading what she had to go through. So I only spent 10 years with my alcoholic first husband, and I only spent just as little time as possible with the second one. Enough to get 2 kids, and that's it. Because I didn't have any tolerance left, and so after that, and I've been asked over and over, why did I continue on to get, you know, close to alcoholics and get them in my life, and can I really justify it by saying I was studying them, studying. I was studying them night and day, and he knows. Haven't I studied you? Haven't I?
Oh, I'm sorry. I always forget. Whenever we're making a video, she always says, "Don't interrupt me. And don't be making snide, snarly comments. And don't do anything that I don't want you to do." Was I supposed to talk to her? Yeah. Yeah,
I've read his life on several occasions.
Whoa, give me a Ray-Ban, will you?
Pardon me, I'll have to get him one of his Ray-Bans.
Yeah, what's happening?
Ray-Bans. He only wears them on TV, he don't wear them out in the sun. Because he has to wear his, you know, regular glasses because he can't see. And, you know, being in his condition, he doesn't go to any doctors. And he don't get new glasses. He don't go to, you know, any medical personnel whatsoever. That's
right.
So, here's his Ray-Ban self. And he wouldn't even have them if he didn't inherit them from his buddy who left him his. But anyway, why? Why have I continued? I learned to play pool.
I have
so I could
for
conduct
years.
A 7-year, well, at least 10-year study of alcoholism in bars.
Yeah.
Where a better place to go and study alcohol is?
Well, I'll tell you what. If you go
I didn't drink, but.
If you go to church and they're not. And they're not serving communion, you're not going to see too much alcohol in church.
I don't know.
Now, after church, you know, okay, everybody over to the tavern across the street.
Well, my dad was a very complicated alcoholic, and I thought, well,
And there was so
I've got
church
to
that didn't have a
find
tavern right across the street.
alcoholics that resemble him. And actually, I happened onto a treasure that kept me in one bar for 7 years. This guy would talk. He would just tell you everything. And I'd never encountered that before. And so I actually wrote 100,000 pages, not on this guy. And
100,000?
yes. Oh, I don't know. I was just so fascinated because he would just talk and talk and talk. He wouldn't hold anything back. He was a liar, you know, of course, like, you know, but he still told me the truth. Something about me, I don't know. He just started telling me the
other words,
truth.
What you tried to say is that
friend,
you'll listen to anybody for any particular reason.
Well,
you know?
he realized
you
that.
are so gullible.
Oh yeah. Well, he started noticing that that the truth sort of fascinated me, and so he'd just give me more and more and keep me there.
Well, he just embellished
until
it
I
a little bit,
got,
you know?
What you know, what I thought was just a wonderful book.
You know,
And really, from the other than an alcoholic, I thought was like my dad, and I'd never been gathered before, and well, that was just marvelous. But it had a lot of secrets and a lot of, you know, evidence of lies that he'd told certain people, and I thought, I can't publish this because I'll be telling his secrets, and he's very frank and open, so I just can't do that, you know. So I had to put the book aside, and I don't even know if I kept it or not, but anyway, that was, you know, how I've become, surely that qualifies me to be an expert on alcoholism, all these studies I've made of different men, how they drank, what lies they told, what they were concealing, you know, some like him. Now, he's pretty straightforward for an alcoholic. He doesn't do much lying. And in my old age, I've rewarded myself with just a simple, straightforward alcohol.
Whenever she leaves, I lie to myself like you would not believe. I lie to myself as soon as she's gone.
Yeah, well, he may lie to himself. He does lie to himself, but he doesn't tell me big barefaced lies about what he's done, and so he doesn't have to. I mean, he hasn't done them, so he's really kind of an alcoholic who hasn't really, you know, a lot of alcoholics are complicated, you know, they've done this kind of thing that's against, you know, they're rebels, and sometimes they'll rebel in a lot of different ways, like they'll smoke, they'll drink, they'll take drugs, they'll, you know, along with the alcohol. I mean, they're really, really a lot bigger rebels than, he's kind of a rebel, but he didn't really get into smoking. I wonder, how come he didn't become a smoker or a drugger? You know, he did, I think, you indulged, but you gave it up. He very sensibly gave it up. His dad had lung cancer, right?
Drugs, okay?
Yeah, but you smoked for what, 10 years? 10 years.
Cigarettes?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I started when I was 16, quit when I was 30.
And what got you to quit? Sensibly quit.
Well, my wife with 6 kids said, I'm leaving you and leaving you with the 6 kids.
Oh!
And my boyfriend's leaving his wife with 3 kids, and we're going to go away together, so...
Is that why you quit smoking?
Yep.
What's that got to do with quitting smoking? I thought you quit because your dad got lung cancer.
You haven't got a clue.
Oh my! See,
I don't have to tell her my whole life story, because half the time if I tell her, she says, I don't believe that. I said, well, unfortunately, 2 days later she calls me on the phone, would you please go over and talk to his wife, like, you know, take him back, you know, and because, but don't tell her that I called you, okay? Just go over there and see if you can get her, and I mean, you know, take him back. And I said, what are you going to do? She said, well, I'm coming back.
See, this, I think, is why he feels that he has justification to become a hopeless drunk rather than a smoker. I mean, smoking isn't usually done.
I'm taking care of 6 kids and working 2 jobs. One job is taking care of 6 kids. The other job is having a job.
Drinking is usually done to express sorrow, grief,
I never heard that. Who made up
rage
that
over what's happened to him. Like his first wife. He told me he started drinking after his first wife did him in practically.
I did not tell you that.
When I first met you, you said, my first wife broke my heart, just tore it apart. You don't remember, obviously.
Well, obviously,
well, if you hear what his first wife
you
done,
only hear what you want to hear.
You'd probably
right?
drink too if she'd done it to you. I mean, I couldn't believe it, but she'd
no,
done it to him.
what I said was, is that the doctor told her that she was.
Yeah, it's almost too hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I wish I'd have known that before we got married. So I didn't say I went out and got, you know, but then, you know, most of my jobs took me, you know, either in and out of town or around. So, yeah, I would stop at a bar, you know, stop at a bar. And then what happened was, is I used to tell these women in the bars, you know, the story about, well, my wife and I had sex 6 times, and now we have 2 kids. What?
He met a woman that had an equal sad story, right? And you two got together.
And these girls will say, well, you must not be very good in bed, are you? I said, well, I don't know.
So,
boink, 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 boink. And that's why I hung around in bars.
So he's had enough trouble.
I wasn't shooting pool, I was shooting,
to send
baby.
him to the bottle, which he's...
Well, you go into a bar and you say, hey,
right.
This is not Amsterdam. Can I... Oh, yeah, we don't drink here, we just smoke.
Uh-huh.
Not Amsterdam.
So, and me,
she goes to bars and doesn't
my experience
drink.
with alcoholism
with that one.
Caused me to seek revenge rather than drink myself. I vowed to get revenge on every alcoholic I could. I would make them suffer.
You've been doing it. Folks, she's been doing a damn good job on me.
Suffer.
Ever since I met this woman, she's been making me suffer. You should have seen some of the videos years ago. I had to wear a dress one time. How about that? How many guys can say that?
I have told him his faults in great detail with great emphasis over and over and over again, haven't I?
I know, and you know what? I always thank you for that because I can do them. Now that I remember them, I know I can do them over and over and over
Your
and over.
faults and failings.
That's right.
And
if you would stop reminding me of
when I couldn't hurt
faults.
my first husband enough, then I divorced him. And
well, you lived with him for 5 years. The other 5 you were just traveling.
Well, 5 years, yeah, I'd be leaving him. You know, if he did anything to me caused by his drinking, like get drunk, raise hell, threaten my life, all that stuff, I would make him pay. I didn't let him get by the thing. I'd call the cops. I would say, okay, I'm leaving you. I'm going 2 states away. And he'd have a heck of a time getting me back, but then I think I didn't punish him enough. I've got to have to go back and punish him some more.
Here's the problem. If I go 2 states away, I live here, okay? She lives here.
Yeah.
She can go 3 floors upstairs and I don't have to see her for a while. But she knows where I live.
Well, believe you me, when he gets through with me, he is going to have been told off in great detail of what he said that day that was wrong.
Are we?
And so,
Are we talking about me or your dead husband?
no,
Or the
no.
husband that's not?
You get awfully good. You
The
get
husband
awfully
is not-
good at
Is this
telling
the one
these
that went to the
alcoholics.
desert and nobody?
No. You wait until in the morning when they're sobered up, or you find your time, and then you let them have it. And see, so
Boy, I'm waiting for that. I kind of like to see that one myself. What do you think? That sounds good. By the way, in case anybody missed the snake, this is
I bought him that.
Diamondback snake. It's got a little. If you feel up,
He knows.
Oh, it makes you feel.
He knows
good,
what
yeah.
I think about rattlesnakes. So, I saw this in the store, and I must
Wait a
have been
minute.
quite mad at him. So I bought him this shirt.
Was that a slap at me that I didn't get before? I just thought you were just went over the edge again. Look at
Well,
this.
you know how I hate rattlesnakes. So what do you think?
Why do you hang
when
around?
I bring this
Why do
home,
you go and
I
play
say,
with
oh,
one?
this is right.
Why do
Because
you go play
there's
with
nothing
one?
like
Go ahead.
an alcoholic's like Jekyll and Hyde. He's sober, and this guy never sobers up. So you can imagine. I mean, he's not even Jekyll and Hyde. He is just straight. That's straight. Which is a new thing for me.
What you realize is what you just said.
He's just straight poison.
No, you didn't say that.
That's what I call a guy who
You
never
just said,
sobers up.
I'm just high.
I never imagined such a guy could sink to that kind of, level, but, he's just, that's a new one for me, and so I'm studying this kind of alcoholic, and,
How's the book coming?
oh, the book, oh my God, I've got so many alcoholics to write about that. I don't know if I can get it done, people. I don't know if I can do this work that I need to do for the benefit of all the people that suffer from these people, that.
I don't see you suffering all that much. I'll tell you one thing.
I'm laughing on the outside, I'm crying on the inside. A lot of times, crying, So
Well,
there.
you do look a little like a clown. Laughing on the outside, crying on the
Yes,
inside.
the clown who laughs on the outside, cries on the inside.
Yeah,
But
we know that.
that's the way it goes, and so I am going to continue on with my work as long as I can possibly do it. Let's see, people wonder, even my family wondered, how in the world, it's going on 8 years, how can you continue with this? What is in the wreckage that you still
We're talking about wreckage here, okay? I have done near the weird things that you've done. Remember I told you the other day when we went on camera and I said, she's always talking about this family. And I finally figured it out over a period of years that everybody up in southern Utah is relative. Everybody is relative, there's certain, yeah, that's a relative over there, relative, But polygamy had nothing to do with it. No, of course not. So anyway, I said to her, what did I say?
Yes, I have polygamous ancestors too. But,
yes.
So but that was in the past. My mission on earth, was to study alcoholics.
I did not know. I was born here, but I didn't have a mission statement across my forehead said
that I was, and at the time that I met him, I thought he won't last 6 months, and thanks to me, he's still going strong and he's healthy. Relatively speaking, for an alcohol.
What you're saying.
I mean, a side effect of what I do for them.
What you're saying, in essence, if you know what essence means, is that you have managed to keep me alive.
Yes.
All by your.
Well,
Wow.
yes, I have managed. by my
You have gone
making
past,
him laugh.
You've gone past Sigmund Freud's ego.
I mean, most people would look.
Egomaniac. Now yours. Now you can walk on water. I know you can walk across that swimming pool.
Yes, saintly. Don't be
Well,
afraid to say it. I'm a living saint, right?
Well, somebody told you that, and I didn't believe it. Now you have lost your sainthood.
Oh no, I can't lose it. I mean, as long as I'm helping guys like you see what happened.
Well, see, what happened is that she doesn't want to say this, but I will. She's been be-sainted.
Oh no. You can't convince.
Yes, that's what you
You'd
told me.
never be able to convince me that I was doing the wrong thing by studying alcoholics, and because in the process, I really did learn. I learned that I was quite mentally ill, and then I also learned that I was overweight. I mean, seriously overweight, and that I did have an addiction of my own, which I sort of knew, and I sort of took some responsibility for it, but not nearly enough, because my addiction, flesh, too much flesh, it can kill. It can kill. And in the early days, we didn't realize that obesity was an addiction. I mean, you're addicted to the foods, the sugars, the candy, the cake. I was addicted to all those and grew up that way. My mother was a sugar addict. She had a food addiction. Gained weight, and we, as daughters, all put on weight. And I learned since being with him that overweight is a very serious addiction. It's practically as bad as alcoholism. Not quite. I don't really think it's quite as devastating, because it doesn't cause you to cause you to go and run off the road and get arrested for being under the influence, all that sort of thing. They don't take your blood sugar and say, you must have had a lot of sugar today, because your blood sugar is like, in the future they may do that. They may have their blood sugar to a machine, get it out, say, this woman is impaired. She had 2 hot fudge sundaes today.
Oh my God.
And it's caused her to drive erratically.
Let's just get this one out of the way. Yeah. Another little pip story.
So think about it.
Tell us
blood sugar.
Tell about your dad is staggering out of this saloon, gets into the car, and the other two are in the car, and they got this dead snake, and they drape it on the
one of his own daughters was helping with the joke. Well, guess what happened? That Dad didn't see the snake. I hope it wasn't a dead rattlesnake. It could have been. And so he grabbed the steering wheel with the snake around it, drove down the road, and all of a sudden, in his drunkenness, he saw this snake. Guess what? He opened the car door, and jumped out. Left the car rolling, going where? And my sister, who was was helping with the joke, was going, Dad's left the car.
And I'm the crazy one, right?
Yeah. And we said to my sister, what were you thinking of? She just got carried away, and it kind of reminds me of my way I approach stuff. But anyway, I've got to stop. I mean, I'd like to keep on here forever, but he's told me, he's called my attention to time. So
actually, I haven't, but I don't know. Didn't make any difference.
So long, and it's been nice talking to you.
Been nice to know you so long. It's been nice to know you so long.